It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Delaware Head basketball coach, Martin Ingelsby. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brandon. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be on the show with you.
Thank you. Can you talk about your coaching experience and how you got started coaching?
Well, my background, I grew up in the Philadelphia area. I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and my dad was a great player at Villanova University, went on to play in the NBA for a few years. So I grew up around the game of basketball. And ever since I was younger, my dad was always my coach. To make a long story short, he was our high school coach, and always loved the game, always thought about when my playing days were over. Love to be able to get into the profession, to be able to give back to everything that's done for me, and just really enjoyed teaching and coaching, and had an opportunity after I graduated from the University of Notre Dame to stick around and shadow Coach Bray's staff there at Notre Dame. Then got an opportunity to go to Wagner College to be a graduate assistant. Was there for a year, and then went back to Notre Dame as the director of basketball operations, was on the staff with Coach Bray for 13 years, and then was fortunate about 4.5 years ago to get the opportunity to lead my own program here at the University of Delaware. So that gives you a little bit of a snapshot how I got into the profession and how I got to where we are now.
That's wonderful that you've had an amazing career. Can you talk about what you've achieved as a coach at Notre Dame?
When I was at Notre Dame, I was in the operations position for 6 years. So that's really kind of the guy behind the scenes, handling a lot of the day-to-day operations from academics, compliance, running camps. And I really tried to soak everything in, and was passionate about one day having an opportunity to be an assistant coach and hopefully run my own program one day. We had a great run there as an assistant for 7 years, went to back-to-back Elite Eights, won the ACC championship, had a great run there, and then was fortunate again to get the head coaching job here at Delaware. When I got the job 4.5 years ago, took over a program a little bit in disarray. The previous coach had gotten fired 2 months ago. They had to hire an athletic director. They had to hire a university president. So we were trying to build a program from the ground up. And, I'm happy with the progress we've made each year. We've improved our win total from 13 to 14 to 17 to 22. And, excited about the direction. We got a long way to go. But we got a good group of kids. They're ready to work hard, and I'm excited to be able to hopefully play some games next month.
What have you accomplished at Delaware as the head coach?
Well, I think we're building a basketball program, not just a basketball team. And, we've set a really strong, solid foundation of who we are, how we want to play. We've really strengthened the culture from day one. I think the biggest challenge for me was I was a little naive to think that leaving Notre Dame and you'd bring your philosophy and vision to Delaware, that it would be seamless. And that wasn't the case. It was a challenge night in and night out, day after day. But I do feel like we have an identity of who we are. We have great kids. They've done exceptional in the classroom. They're great representatives of our university on campus and in the community. And we're starting to see some really fruits of our labor on the basketball court in the win column.
What did you bring to Notre Dame that whenever you were the director of ops that helped you with Delaware?
Well, I think, my experience going from a player to joining a college basketball staff, I'll never forget my first staff meeting with Coach Bray and leaving there, and my head was spinning because I kind of just thought you're on a staff, you roll the balls out, you shoot a little bit, you play 5-on-5, but it was amazing to me what actually goes into running a basketball program. And again, compliance and academics and scheduling and recruiting. The amount of time you sit in staff meetings and talk about recruiting and kids that are good fits for you and have a recruiting board up on the wall. But I do think those 6 years, I really grew as a coach. I grew as a leader. Again, I tried to soak everything in, and that really prepared me to take the leap to be able to run my own basketball program. I still feel like I have my operations hat on every day, thinking about travel and meals and depending on what time of year it is, camps and compliance and all those things. So I had a great appreciation and really learned so much in that position that I think has really helped me in my head coaching role today.
What was your experience like playing for Notre Dame and switching over to being an assistant coach?
Well, I had a unique experience because I played for 3 coaches in 4 years. So, I played for John McLeod for 2 years. He recruited me. Fran McCaffrey, who's now the head coach at the University of Iowa, who has one of the top 5 teams in the country coming back, was one of the assistants. He's a Philadelphia guy. I'm a Philadelphia guy. So they recruited me really hard. And then Coach McLeod unfortunately got let go. And then Matt Doherty came in. And then Coach Bray actually came in my senior year after Matt Doherty left for the University of North Carolina, his alma mater. So, I had a great experience. I think I learned so much. It helped me really mature as a basketball player, as a person. I had an unbelievable experience there at the University of Notre Dame. It's, experiences that, I would cherish for the rest of my life. But it helped me mature. I became a better basketball player. I learned different systems, different style of coaching, different philosophy. I reflect on those experiences a lot in my role. I can't tell you how many times I've called Coach Bray over the last couple of years, not knowing what to do or in this moment and just looking for a lifeline like, Coach, you got to help me out here. How would you handle that? Or how many times I step back and say, God, what would Coach Bray do here in this situation? So, I'm really thankful for the opportunity I had to play for him and also, be on his staff for 13 years. And, I'm not in this opportunity or not in this place without, him believing in me.
Can you talk about the recruitment process at Delaware and what it's like?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think recruiting is not an art. You try to make it an art, but, for us here at Delaware, we've really tried to focus on high character kids, guys that are competitors and guys that know how to play the game. And, we're in a great geographical region, this mid-Atlantic region up to the Northeast. There's really, really good high school basketball programs, a lot of good basketball players. So it's kind of where we focused our time. Before the pandemic, we spent a lot of time going up and down I-95 recruiting high school kids, and we've done a great job. We have a really strong track record of success with guys that we recruited into our program. This place isn't for everybody. We've always looked at a small pool of kids that fit our system, our culture, how we want to play, type of kids that you want to coach, and really proud about we got good kids in our program and we've made them better basketball players. So we really used that through the recruiting process with the success they've had, and balancing the recruiting process at the high school level with also adding some really good transfers, that have helped us get older and a little more mature.
Can you talk about the culture that you have built for Delaware?
Yeah, I mean, that was probably something that, we've really developed over the last couple of years. I had a vision of what I wanted it to look like, how I wanted it to feel. We needed to define for us. So we spent maybe the last 2 years really working to define our culture. And we have 5 pillars of success in our basketball program, our core values, which are accountability, attitude, integrity, perseverance, and together. And our team has worked in the summer to go through exercises to really in those core values. So that is something that we make those are the core values that we make all our decisions in our basketball program off of. They're going to continue to evolve, but there are names that are plastered in our locker room. They're plastered on a practice plan. We come back and reference them a lot during the season. So really proud of the work we put in to establish those core values. And you got to continue to work every day to strengthen them.
Who are some of the opponents that you face in your conference?
So there's 10 teams in the CAA. So we go from Northeastern up in Boston, Massachusetts, all the way down to South Carolina and Charleston. So, it's a stretched out footprint. Drexel, Towson, William and Mary, UNC Wilmington, mentioned Charleston, Hofstra, really, really good basketball conference. One of the best mid-major conference in the country. There's so much parity. There's great coaches, really good basketball players. It's a challenge night in and night out to be able to find a way to get a win. So, really proud of who this conference is and how it's growing and developing. And we got to continue to market it nationally to, get a greater appreciation for the level of basketball we have.
Can you talk about how y'all prepare for teams like, for example, UNCW, that's like an hour away from me, and it's always warm down here, and it might be cold up. It might be cold up in Delaware. How do y'all like balance that out?
We would, we've the last couple of years we played our conference games on Thursday and Saturday, so we would travel down there on a Wednesday, and always look forward to in the dead of winter getting down to some warmer weather. So I think you pack accordingly, and we would play Wilmington and Charleston on the same trip. So if it's wet, depending on what time of year it is, whether it's late January or early February, we like to get out in the sun when we get down there and maybe take our team to dinner or, really just enjoy the weather. And then our preparation for them would start the day before. So we would do scouting, talk about our opponent, talk about tendencies, get a chance to walk through and shoot around on our opponent's court the day of the game. And then you tip it up, and then we'd head right from UNC Wilmington and bus down to Charleston to be able to play them in 2 days. So sometimes it's a nice little trip and getaway for us to be able to enjoy that warm weather at a cold time up here in Newark.
Whenever y'all play opponents, do y'all normally have like only 2 days to like be there and go to a different school?
We do. Usually we're at home one weekend or on the road one weekend. So we play Thursday, Saturday. We leave Wednesday. We play Thursday. We travel either Thursday night, Friday morning to the next opponent, have a day to prep and get some rest and practice. And then we would play Saturday. And depending on that location, we either bus back Saturday night or stay over Saturday night to play Sunday. So it just depends. We have travel partners in our league. Drexel is our travel partner. So when we play them, we just bus up the day of the game, play them, and then come right back. Or I guess lately we've gone up the night before and stayed over. So it just depends on who we're playing and the time of year and what our strategy to the road trip would be.
What are some future plans for the program of Delaware?
Well, we want to continue to, establish our culture and our brand. Obviously, we're in such a challenging time right now. We're just grateful to be back on the basketball court playing. And, fingers crossed that November 25th, we're playing a college basketball game. Our guys have done a great job following the protocols that our medical staff and administration have put in place to get them back on the court. And, just want to be able to compete for a championship. I think that's where we're at. And we're on the cups. We got a good group coming back with 3 seniors that are experienced or older. They're mature. They've played in the CA before. So again, we got a long way to go. We're excited about our group. We got some really good pieces that hopefully continue to grow together, and we'll see where the dust settles.
What advice would you give upcoming high school athletes that are looking to get recruited to the next level?
I just think stay positive. I think kids nowadays are maybe a little panicked with the pandemic and trying to find an opportunity. I feel for the class of 2020 and 2021, especially with some of the changes in legislation at the NCAA level. So don't force anything. Don't overreact. I do think there's going to be opportunities in the spring, and maybe it's an opportunity through a prep school to be able to distance yourself from making that decision right now. But, focus on what you can control. And, if you can get in the gym to improve as a basketball player or outside or at the park, continue to focus on those fundamentals, have an upbeat and optimistic approach, and take it day by day.
What advice would you give upcoming college coaches looking to get into the same profession?
I think, have a growth mindset and trying to, learn as much as you can about the game of basketball. I think that was my strategy and philosophy as I got into the coaching ranks. And, there's so much information out there on social media and Twitter and Instagram and X's and O's or videos to watch, and, try to soak it in and be a sponge. And, any opportunity you can get to be able to teach and coach and be on the floor and develop your presence, I think that is so valuable and so rewarding. When I was staying at Notre Dame after I graduated, I coached Coach Bray's son's AAU basketball program, and I believe they were in 5th or 6th grade at the time. And I look back on that experience and said, like, that really helped me develop my presence on the basketball court, because I played basketball all my life, but now you're turning to the other side and being able to communicate and develop a voice and being able to teach and get a group of kids to play together is not easy. And you got to continue to work on that every day. And a little bit like we do in practice, you script it every day and you continue to work, and it gets ingrained in our players' head what we're trying to do. So any opportunity you can get to put yourself in those situations, I think is extremely valuable. And then, when the time is right, be able to, get out and network. And whether it's through AAU or high school basketball, or going to watch college teams practice and saying hello and jotting down notes, I think those, experiences are extremely valuable as well.
That's wonderful advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with the Delaware program at?
So our program, if you go to bluehens.com, you can pull up our men's basketball page, and, they have our team, our roster there, some nice articles about our program. They have our coaching staff, our backgrounds. And then my Twitter handle is Bluehen Ingelsby, Ingelsby, Bluehen before that. So you can pull it up and follow our program, and, there's links on there to be able to see interviews and features on our players. So go check it out if you can.
Thank you again, Coach Martin, for your interview, and best of luck in this upcoming season at Delaware.
Thanks, Brandon. Really appreciate it. And you guys be safe down there.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Martin, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thanks, Brandon.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.